stable over time under the influence of temperature, humidity, and light. The second one, it helps to establish the retest period for a drug substance and a shelf life for a drug product. And finally, it helps to establish the recommended storage condition. Now, if you are not sure what is a drug substance and what is a drug product, I have made a detailed video on this. The link you can find on the I button as well as in the description below. Please go discuss about the IC stability zones, and it is one of the most important slide of today's presentation. So the globe has been divided into 4 climate zones based on the mean kinetic temperature. So the zone 1 basically temperate zone, zone 2 is Mediterranean zone, zone 3 is a hot and dry zone, zone 4A hot humid zone, and zone 4B hot very humid zone. Now a very important point to note here that the zones has been divided based on the mean kinetic temperature. So in mean kinetic temperature, in a simple language, it is nothing but a temperature which is very close to mean temperature for that particular region. Now if I have to give you an example of this, take example of India. Now in India, in summer, there are regions where the temperature goes above 45 degrees centigrade, and in winter there are places where the temperature falls below 10 degrees centigrade. So it is not constant. The temperature, it varies over time around the year. But now if you see the mean kinetic temperature for the zone 4B, it is 3075. That means that if you keep your samples in this 30-75 degrees condition over a long period of time, it is going to have the same thermal challenge as would have been experienced over a range of both higher and lower temperature. So this is basically mean kinetic temperature. Now let's look at the map illustrations of ICS zone. So there is a global map you can see on the screen. The upper regions of the map, which is blue in color, shows the ICS zone 1. Now the regions below that, which is in green color, shows the zone 2 regions, and below that the orange color one shows the zone 3, followed by the red color regions which show the ICS zone 4. Now let's look at the regulatory requirements for drug substance and products intended to be stored at a room temperature. So as I have mentioned in my last video, there are basically 3 kinds of stability studies: long-term, intermediate, and accelerated. So in general case where you are going to store your product in the room temperature, the long-term testing condition would be 25 degrees centigrade and 60% RH plus minus 5% RH, or you can do it at 30 degree followed by 65% RH. If you are going for intermediate, it will be 30-65, and if you are going for accelerated study, it will be 40 degrees centigrade plus minus 2 followed by 70% relative humidity plus minus 5% relative humidity. Now one thing that you have to keep in mind is that whenever you are submitting your dossier, a minimum of 12-month long-term data has to be submitted along with a 6-month accelerated data. And in case if you are submitting intermediate data, a 6th month data, intermediate study data has to be submitted. This is the minimum requirement.